One sec. You all right, mate?
Yeah, you're right. So we got cut off.
Yeah, man. I feel a little bit
But
less anxious now, so maybe we go from here, yeah?
yeah, I think that's a good idea.
All right, mate. Yeah, man. So yeah, let's get into it. Obviously, it's a hard subject. When someone says like what like your mental health is a hard thing to describe, isn't it?
It's so hard. And you know what? It's hard to describe it to people with paper and pen. You know, like we're wearing a white suit or not. Do
Oh,
you know?
mate, listen, the other day at the mental health assessment, they've got clipboards and they're writing and looking, and there's like maybe you get more like better results if you're looking into the eyes of the person that's talking. There's definitely there's something wrong with the system. Like there's just many people that are just left behind and left to their own devices that don't have the. I often get the word wrong. Is it cosmos? What is it? Anyway,
Cognition,
they don't have the ability to like ask for help themselves.
the
Compos
cognition.
mentis. Is it compos
Oh,
mentis?
I don't know. I've never heard of that.
I believe that's the word. But anyway, yeah, they don't have the will or like the ability to ask for help, and so they're just left to die and drink themselves to death, basically.
I know. Because they're not able to communicate. They're not able to compute.
Yeah,
It's
and
crazy.
especially
It's
like
so sad.
if you're older and like it seems like you've almost been left behind, you know, because obviously there's different milestones in people's lives. They have like children and get married or whatever. So if you end up probably past 50 and you drink, it might be bad. But I always remember being in a pub and thinking I will never do I'll never be here at this age.
Yeah. But it does, there is a fear. I have a fear, like with my mental health, because it fluctuates as well. In the future, I'm like, where am I going to be? Because the system doesn't listen.
And it's really weird for like me to hear your pain because from the outside looking in, I'm like, she's like, she looks like she's going to be a successful person. She likes poetry. Like,
Oh, yeah.
there's obvious signs for like, for good times ahead for you. So, my advice to you, I'd probably, like, there is definite good times ahead for you.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that.
Like,
I need
definitely,
to hear
I
that.
can
I need
guarantee
to
it,
hear
mate.
that. I honestly, I'm so fearful for my future because I feel like, because I've been in an inpatient before, and I've been in rehab before. Do you know what I mean? So it's like I just worry that whether I'm going to have another episode or I don't know. I just there's a fear
Yeah,
there.
I was talking to a friend the other day, and he suffers with chronic pain, and he was basically having a breakdown to me, and he was saying that he was basically suicidal, and then I caught myself thinking like, well, if he's suicidal, who the fuck am I? Like, sorry to swear, who am I to say anything? But then I thought, no, I have got to say the right thing. But this is like truly how people feel, you know.
Yeah, it is
So
how people feel, and it's relevant, and it matters. Every single person is so important. But how society is structured now, people kind of feel like they're not important enough, and
well,
especially when no one's listening.
there's a massive gap in so the chief executive councillor in my city earns his declared earnings is something like 155,000 a year.
Oh my
Um I,
God.
I'm not sure what he does to deserve that. And um yeah, it would just be nice to see like a bit of fairness in it. Like the people who work on the premature baby unit in the hospital, why aren't they getting paid?
Yeah,
Why are
yeah,
they
it's
like
true.
worrying about parking at the hospital?
Yeah, it's true. It's so true. It's ridiculous. And why, I know it's a common occurrence and it's a common, people always say it, but why do footballers get paid so much?
Yeah, I actually like football and I completely agree. Just because you can play with a football shouldn't be. And do you know what I find really peculiar about footballers and people of high profile? It's almost like obviously they reach a level of massive influence and not one of them speaks out for change. So this is how I know that
No.
they're all part of a club where people must come to and be like, you can have more money if you don't
Yeah.
call out the blatant issues that are in your communities, which has raised you. I don't understand it because if I had a high profile, I would be going. at the system
Yeah, I know, I
badly.
know. And there's not enough people that do. There's not
But
enough
there's not.
people at
Well,
all.
there's Marcus Rashford as a footballer that I know he campaigns for children to be fed, but that's the bare minimum.
That's one out of how many? It's
Is crazy, and
crazy.
and
And then,
I
yeah,
always found as a child it was difficult to get a diagnosis, and obviously as an adult I've realized they have to spend more money with a child that has a diagnosis. So, and I know children now that are struggling to get diagnosis. So this is just how it is. You struggle
yeah,
because it is a cost to them having
yeah.
someone that's, I don't know, on paper, different.
And no one wants to take accountability. No one wants to take responsibility. Like, look at you with your accident that happened in 2022. It's like
21 it was, 2021.
2021.
Yeah, man, they've been nothing short, but like they've just been really horrible people. Like one conversation sticks in my mind. I was asking to move from that area, and a lady on the phone said, it wouldn't make a difference if you lived in Telford House or Buckingham Palace or something like that. And bearing in mind, I'm literally sat there like with bad injuries, like not feeling good mentally, and I've got people like that. And I could tell she is a local lady from her accent.
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean? But
yeah.
because from that accident, it would have been nice to hear from the council. We've heard you've had an accident. We're not saying it's our fault, but is there anything that we can do to help you get to the medical appointments that you're going to be going to?
Yeah, you should have had some level of
That
support.
that's well, yeah, people pay council tax for social care, and I know a lot of people that don't receive it. So, and it's got to the point now, like the council social medias are just full of people complaining. So, I'm pretty sure they're not going to get voted in again, and hopefully
And they
not.
shouldn't. Yeah, they shouldn't if
Yeah.
that's the case. If that's how they present themselves, it's ridiculous. Because you should have received. Because obviously you said that you suffered from PTSD.
Yeah, so many times, like I've replayed this experience and this day in my head so many times that it's become like I can't even describe it to you. It's more than a memory. It's more than a dream. It's like it's just there because they're forcing me to relive it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. And
If
you
they
can't
did
get
the right
past it.
if they did the right thing at the start, because the evidence I have is compelling. They criminally neglected the roads for over 10 years. Like I have the local community support, but yeah, it's just not good enough. Like yeah, they're not good enough.
And now they've fixed the road.
Yeah, they resurfaced the road like I don't know
Yeah,
6 months
now,
after, but
yeah,
yeah,
it's ridiculous. So we were saying before as well that you were homeless as well. So
yeah.
that must have triggered a lot of trauma as well. Because
Yeah, I don't know whether we've said in this little bit, but I was a carer for my nan who had
yeah,
vascular dementia, and I was a living carer. But yeah, after that, I was homeless, and it was a really difficult process getting into housing. Like I believe that in school there should be a class that to children that show behavior issues, or maybe all right, no, what they should do is show their classism early, like their classist um category in people, and teach these people how to pay council tax bills and how to shop cheap. Do you know what I mean? This is like
yeah,
genuine thing, because what are the odds of a child who isn't getting an education being locked in a room wanting to know the Pythagoras theory over like paying a bill,
yeah, yeah. It's true. It's
or the
true. That's
warnings of like being in debt and stuff? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do know what you mean. They should teach you from the beginning because they don't teach you in school that life is hard. They don't teach you
No,
the
no, no.
battles and the fact that you're going to go through trials and tribulations and you have to keep going. They don't teach you that. It's like it's all roses, but they don't teach you that you need to be strong.
Yeah, another shocking thing is the way that the youth are neglected as well. It's unbelievable that you hear about the council spending budgets on in my opinion, unnecessary things, but then they can't afford money to stop kids killing each other. Like if they were to
Yeah,
build a boxing gym and a social hub where people could get fed and it was a happy atmosphere and everyone felt like a community, I'm
yeah.
sure it, you know what I mean? I
Yeah,
don't
but why
understand. It's all
don't they? That's
they
the
they
confusing thing.
it's almost like they want this problem as well with people. It's like the rappers that they push are completely rappers that shouldn't be where they are. Like talent wise, they're not very good in my opinion anyway, but their
Yeah,
message is definitely not very good.
yeah, yeah. That's what I mean. It should be like social constructs and um social unity, not money, drugs, drink. Do you know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
like you said,
yeah.
they're pushing the wrong message.
That's another group of people that not one of them has the bollocks too. But if you look at like an artist like Jess, I don't know if you know about him, but
No.
he's got a good song. Listen to it after this interview. It's called Jest England, so Jehst England. And yeah,
Okay.
man, it goes over like a few issues, but rappers that talk about real stuff are never going to be pushed by people to make them successful. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
Because
And
they
there's
don't want this message out there.
no, and there's another artist called High Ren. I don't know if you've heard of him.
I haven't.
High Ren, he talks about mental health, but he's just coming up now, but he's doing really well. But he's yeah, he explores mental health and because he's got his own psychiatric mental health conditions. So yeah, he's another one. But it's true, there should be so many more people, and especially when you think about it, the people that rule the country, they haven't experienced mental health, clearly. Do you know what I
No,
mean?
they're too busy
It's like,
having a party somewhere,
yeah,
mate.
like, exactly.
Oh shit! But I'd love to know my local council's alcohol allowance for like the year for all their council
Yeah,
meetings and stuff. It would be I bet it would be like some sum. It would be unbelievable. And then at the same time, they're asking for investments to fix the pond at the Royal Victoria Park, which is like a historic park, and they need investment. It's like you've already got money, just spend the money, or they've spent the money.
yeah,
Shitbags.
it's ridiculous. The system is just so flawed and so cracked. It's absolutely it's a joke. But
It
it's just
needs all of these issues, like the homelessness issue. It needs like people on the ground who have experience in the matter, talking and liaising with the people that are being affected by it now. But
yeah, but
instead, I know from experience, even yesterday when I went for the mental health assessment, I'm looking in the eyes of people that can't understand what I'm saying to them. They can't
yes,
understand the
they
level of
can't
pain that
understand. They don't understand it because they haven't walked in your
and
shoes. So they just
and I know as well that they're probably good people outside of their job. Like definitely they're good people and their heart's in the right place. But I believe that people who suffer massive traumas have a lot to offer to people who are potentially going to go through the same sort of situation that they've been through.
yeah, which is why like some things are good. Like the system can be flawed, but there are like because I worked as a peer support worker with NHS, and
Yeah, yeah,
it went really well in the sense of I could relate to people and help people using my lived experience. So that worked well.
yeah, man. They were trying to like see what sort of thing I could do to improve my mood. And exercise is like obviously one, but it's kind of hard because my physical condition before my accident, it was like peak. It was like fighting fit. Do you know what I
Uh,
mean?
because you were
So
boxing, weren't you? You said that.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and it's just it's hard because at the time of the accident, it in hospital, if they probably, I don't know, I wouldn't have liked them to say it, but I almost would have I would have liked to have been warned that I was never going to be the same person pre-accident. Do you know what I mean? There's a
Yeah.
lot of things that are different about me, and it's hard to deal with. It is hard to deal with.
I can relate to that because I was doing music and singing it in the city. I lived in London with my twin and we were doing music together and it was going really well. And
Yeah,
since I had my episode of psychosis, my whole life turned upside down. And you have to rebuild. You have to everything that you believed was your path, becomes distorted, and you
It
have
literally feels like that psychosis feeling. It literally feels like you're playing tennis in your head from different sides of it. A bad thought hitting the side of your head, and it's like
yes,
it's fucking horrible, man. Sorry to
it's
swear.
no, it's all right. It is horrible. Have you had psychosis then? Obviously, you must have.
I just know how like I've had like the worst emotions. I'm sure of it.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah, yeah.
I'm sure of it, and it's I'm just thankful that number one, my brain wasn't too badly affected by the accident. Do you know what I mean? I've still got the ability to verbalize reasonably well,
You
but
know that. Yeah.
it's the behavior changes from it. It's like I don't cycle anymore. I used to love cycling, like.
Oh no.
Yeah, man. Like now, I'll be in the car and I'll be like pointing out potholes, or I'll see like a woman cycling with a kid. Like you get like a seat on the back of a bike.
Yeah.
I'll see that and I'll be like, oh my God, that's a death trap. Do you
Oh
know
my
what I mean?
God.
Like
Yeah.
it's really bad, and I don't know how it is whereabouts do you live?
Bedford.
Yeah, I'm not sure where that is, but
You know where
um,
Milton Keynes is?
yeah, man, yeah, Milton
Yeah, near
Keynes.
there.
What
Yeah.
a pothole site where you live?
Where I am, they're all right because I live in like a newish estate. So they're all right. They're not too bad.
Yeah, man.
But I know I'm from like my family are from Jamaica, so I know what potholes and how dangerous they can be.
Yeah, man.
It's not, you
Yeah,
have to
nah,
laugh,
it's
otherwise you'll cry.
yeah, nah, the pothole situation, like, it's mad because I was on the way to boxing, which you consider dangerous, but I never received any sort of thing like that. Do
No.
you know what I mean? And it
But
does
how it
concern
must,
me a little bit.
yeah, it must do. It must do. Because there was someone died, like a tech agent, a tech entrepreneur in 2016 died from hitting a pothole.
Another
And
thing as well, that the NHS shouldn't have to foot the bill for the council's negligence in taking the money of resurface. Like they could have resurfaced the road over 10 years. So
yeah,
that's 10 years worth of money for the
yeah.
NHS to then. I'm still going to the dentist now. I'm picking up, well, hopefully going to pick up a set of dentures this like the next time or the time after that. But I don't know, and it cost me like 20 to 25 pound. I've worked out every time I go, and I probably predict I've been there 100 times,
Oh my
probably more.
God.
So
Oh
it's
my God, that's terrible.
yeah,
Because that's like
so
you're footing the bill when it was their negligence.
yeah, yeah.
That's
But
ridiculous.
to be honest, it's not even about the money anymore because money it means nothing to someone who's never had it. Like, see me, it wouldn't make me it wouldn't make me any happier. It just make me
No.
probably a bit more stupid. Like, I'd buy, I don't know, a car or something. But yeah, what
They
was I
say
gonna
though
say?
that they say if you've got money, like you people strive to have money because they feel like there's going to be a feeling attached to it, but that feeling won't change. Like you
Yeah,
won't
yeah,
change the person.
yeah. The point I was gonna make is it's not about the money anymore. It's about proving them wrong. Like, it's at the point now where if they want to settle, because it's inevitably gonna go to court, I have substantial and, in my opinion, compelling evidence against them.
Oh, brilliant.
So yeah, unlucky for them. And it's funny, at every opportunity they've just been like, it's a legal matter, we can't comment. So it's funny how people that are in control, when they're in the wrong, they take, like, you'd assume a criminal was in the wrong if they go no comment, wouldn't you? Do
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like, but
Yeah.
they will publicly come out and say, "Oh, no comment." So that's how you know whoever says no comment normally has something to, like. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. No, that's true. That's true.
Because they know that they basically I received a letter today, and it was my MP writing to the council, and the council. I'll read out the letter to you. Read out the letter.
Okay.
So the letter goes, "This is the chief executive of Baines," and it goes. Dear Mr. Rees-Mogg, thank you for your inquiry. May I start by saying how sorry I am that Mr. Bullock suffered an accident and incurred his injuries. I can confirm that our highways team were aware of this incident on Moorfields Road in April 2021. The site was inspected at the time, and whilst there was no defects identified at our intervention levels, they took the decision to fill one surface defect in the locality of the incident as it was likely to deteriorate further before the next scheduled thing. Da, da, da. But basically, it's just a letter of lies saying that the road didn't have any potholes on there. But
No.
but what I'm wondering is if they say this in court, they should be held in contempt of court the way I would be because it is a total lie. Like there was
Yeah.
there was massive potholes outside an infant and nursery.
Oh my
And so
gosh.
I've got an online report of someone complaining about the road conditions a month before my accident. And then they commented again further on the same post 2 days after my accident saying it was dangerous for children, that road.
Whoa.
Yeah.
So that's, oh my gosh, that's actually crazy. So they should be held accountable because that is, whoa.
So they another thing as well, if I could show you a picture, I'm not sure how to do like screen I don't know. But they came to measure a pothole and the way I measured it was with a flat piece of timber and a tape measure going down with the help of a neighbor.
Yeah.
They came with a piece of equipment I couldn't even tell you the name of. It has arms on it, and they put it on an already degraded part of the road going down the hill at an angle. It's just the weirdest thing you've seen to measure a pothole in
Oh
your
my
life.
gosh. That's
But
crazy. That's
yeah,
so
man.
bad because there are people who you should be able to trust.
So I measured it, or we should I say, we measured it at 49 millimeters, and that's being like kind to them and not saying 50. Their intervention level is 40 millimeters. They've came out and done everything in their power to strategically place this piece of equipment to make sure it doesn't exceed the 40 millimeter mark, and that's their first line of defense. Their second line of defense is that they carried out reports. But if you go onto any personal injury thing for potholes, like a solicitor website, it will tell you the council will no doubt have records, which means that they will forge the records. Do you know what I mean? They will just and
No.
that's what they do. Yeah. And another thing is a poor person's way to go at the council is through something called a union. Like
Yeah.
this is the no win no fee. And there's members of the council who are striking that are part of the union. So these people are all interlinked. So you got to think as me, the poor person, going at people that are of a different class. If I was of someone with parents that have money or of importance or whatever, I wouldn't be using a no win no fee. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's
Whoa.
all like it's all just a massive head F.
Yeah, I was gonna say that, but I wasn't gonna swear. But yeah, I can see that. It's like it's mind blowing. It's crazy.
But
So
it's
when's your court case?
that's another thing. Solicitors they can drag stuff out, and I just, I don't know. It's inevitably coming up, and
That's
it's
quite
it's an
it's
it's another trauma that they're putting me through. Like they're making me like verbalize these emotions to people that are basically have been lying to me and been like
yeah.
unhelpful and unkind and stuff like that. And I know that they're going to rely on me like losing my temper or something like that, but it's not. I'm not going to do that. It's going to be it's going to be good. It's
Yeah,
going to
but
be
it's
good.
good because you can communicate like you said, but some people
Well,
can't.
I
You
just hope at the time, like our first phone call, obviously was a bit different because in my head I'm thinking like it's just that initial thing of like talking to someone about the traumas you've had and hopefully being accept like do you know what I mean like in
yeah,
your character because like I said before everything about my life is fear based and I don't know like people don't think like me. Say if I go to London I stay in a hotel, I'll be thinking and is in like a high rise hotel, I'll be thinking how would I get out in a fire
oh
like
whoa.
and say if I'm on a train I'll be like assessing everyone thinking are they do you know what I mean like I'm
Yeah, yeah,
hypersensitive to
yeah.
all this shit.
And that must have an impact, obviously, on your daily living, like
Yeah, it
your
does. Like, so for example, today I went down to the local supermarket, and this is in a new area. I've moved to a new area, and
okay.
I went in. I've got a pint of milk, a croissant, and it was a cheap pasty. I do struggle to eat, but that seemed all right for me at the time. Anyway, I pass it to the lady and I pay by card, but she's got a croissant, a pint of milk, and a pasty, and she's guarding it with her life, like until this payment's gone through on the card machine. So I've like looked at it peculiar, and I was like, I said to her, if that didn't go through and I worked here, I'd pay for someone to have that. If I do you know what I mean, I'd just say how
Oh, yeah.
I didn't understand the whole thing. If I was a shoplifter, I'm not, or I couldn't afford it, or what. I didn't. But obviously, she discriminated against me because I seen she was serving someone before me, and it was all friendly and blah blah. To be fair, she doesn't know me, and I do appear a certain way, regardless of whether we like it or not. People make judgments quickly. So if they see me, I've got no teeth and a face tattoo, it might, do you know what I mean? But
Yeah.
it does frustrate me at the same time because it's like you don't know the amount of pain that's caused me to be discriminated against like this. It's like,
Yeah, it's
do you know what I mean?
awful. It's a daily
And
battle. Every day you're fighting.
another thing, I was on the local high street a little bit later on, a different high street like up the road, and I was looking for somewhere healthy to eat, and it was like literally all like bakeries, like that heavy like meat, horrible, greasy cafe, like horrible food.
Yeah.
I was looking for somewhere nice to eat, like maybe a vegan plate or like something nice anyway, yeah. So I went up to a guy and went to ask, and he was like, I was like, mate, and he like immediately dismissed me. I was like, oh, what? Like, so I mouthed off at him a bit, and then he came back, and I was like, I was gonna ask you, like, if you knew a healthy place to eat, like there, you should be. I mentioned something about community, like there being community, and then I called him a shitbag. But
Yeah.
it makes me wonder, like, you don't have enough time to just like people don't have the time. I don't know. Is it just me or does this happen to you? I don't know.
No, I get that. I feel like people, I get people discriminating against me. I've had that in the past. Like,
But then I
um,
think, then I think, like I said to you before, because I've always had to be defensive, am I being out of order? And then it fucks with my head because I'm thinking, oh, I've just made a mug out of myself, and other people are strong enough to not let it appear like other people have bothered you. Do you know what I mean?
yeah,
Like,
but people do get to you, and I can relate to that. I get that because it's like I was in America a little while ago, and not even a little while ago, years ago, like 6, 7 years ago, and I was singing with my sister, and we went into a venue to sing to perform, and the person in the venue said, "You're not performing here. Get out," because we were of our color. So I get that. Do you
it's
know what I mean?
bad.
Like,
It's bad. Check 1 second. I'll show you something. How do I flip the camera?
how do you?
I don't even know. But look, that's my brother, my sister, and me. But
Ah,
yeah, man, yeah, man. But for me, I've been lucky. Like for me, honestly, I've never seen racism where I'm from. Like in primary school, we used to sing like Bob Marley, and like it was sick. It was so sick. It was
ah.
so sick, man. But I can't believe this racist behavior happens. Like, it's
Yeah, because
unbelievable, mate.
we went to the south, and they say not to go to the south, but me and my sister, we were just like, we stopped in the south and we went to McDonald's as well, and in McDonald's we said, can we have a coffee? And they said, is that to sit in or take away? And we said to take away. They said, yeah, good, get out, you're not welcome. It was crazy the experience we had.
Yeah, nah, like I say, it's refreshing to speak to someone that's obviously like keen on educating themselves further. And the poetry thing does it for me as well. Like you writing poetry is brilliant, mate.
Oh, brilliant. Oh, that's good to know.
It's almost like that's the last power that people like us have is just writing.
I know. I know. It's true.
But
But it's true. That's powerful actually when you say it like that. But I
it
try.
is
I
because
try. Yeah.
You should. Have you thought about writing a book?
Yeah, I have written a book
Yeah, man.
actually. Yeah, because just about my experiences like being homeless and being in the psychiatric units and stuff like that. Just I've written about what it's like, and I don't know, just
How
sharing.
was it?
Yeah.
How was it like being homeless as a woman? Because obviously, I know from my point of view, but
It was because I was psychotic, it saved me because I was convinced I was a revolutionist, and I wasn't scared of anyone. I didn't have any fear because I was convinced that I was here to save the world. Like that was my psychotic episode, like that my psychosis. So I didn't speak to anyone because I felt like I was on this mission, and all I had to do was stay alive and guard my heart because everyone was trying to was after my heart. That's what I believed because I was in this episode, and so I didn't speak to anyone at all, really, barely. I didn't trust anyone I just stayed on my own. But it was so hard. It was 9 months of solitude, of just pure in this mindset of I need to guard my heart, I need to guard my heart. And it was horrific. But there was moments like I remember once when I was on a bench, I slept on a bench, and when I woke up, there was a man sitting on the bench next to me, even though there was like loads of benches further down and stuff like that. And like another moment where a guy, I was sleeping high up because I always slept high up because I just made sure that I was in a place where I felt comfortable. And I was sleeping high up, and this guy came along and he was like, he woke me up, he shook my foot, and then said, "Oh, I've got a sleeping bag for you. Do you want to come around the corner and get it?" And I ran off, and things like that, where you just feel it. But at the time, I was thinking they were after my heart, not thinking anything else. But now, on reflection, I'm looking back with my sane mind and being like, "Whoa, that could have
they
turned
did
out."
want your heart. They did want your heart for sure. They did, mate. And yeah, you did. It's almost like you knew, even though you're in a site like mind, to protect yourself, innit? Which
Yeah, I
is
knew.
which is good.
Yeah, yeah, which is good. It did save me. My psychosis helped me in that sense. But otherwise, if I was homeless now and I wasn't psychotic, it'd be a different story. It'd be like, whoa, what is this? Because I saw so much. You see things with a different eye when you're homeless. Like you see a lot more drug users, a lot more prostitutes. Do you know what I mean? You see things that you would never normally clock, you see because you're just sitting there kind of watching the world go by. It's crazy.
Yeah, I went too deep into that lifestyle, do you know what I mean? And it's that's another thing that will like permanently affect me is like yeah, shitbag older people influencing clearly vulnerable younger people. And
Yeah.
it's
Because
like they're like
apparently there's a sorry, go on.
carry on, sorry.
I know I was gonna say there's a rule, isn't there? Like that people that you shouldn't on the streets. There's a rule that you shouldn't influence people to go onto drugs.
Yeah, that's one like I seen drug use like from really young. But like I'm talking about the people that like say um they like transport kids to go and sell drugs in a different area, do you know what I mean? Like people
Oh
like that,
yeah, yeah,
like
yeah.
truly like people without any sort of moral compass. It's shocking.
It's shocking. It's shocking. But you see, that's what I mean. When you're homeless, you see because and I really feel for my sister and my brother and my friends because when I was homeless, they in my area, I was homeless in Bedford for a while, but I was in London for a lot of the time. But they thought I was in Bedford, so they'd go into like the crack houses and things like that to try and find me. And they said that the things they saw were just it completely eye opening for one, but also just shocking, like what they saw when they went in there. So it's just crazy. It's just different worlds, different worlds.
Yeah, I my I won't say his name, but I grew up my best friend in the area. He had a very difficult upbringing. Like I'm not gonna say his parents' situation, but he his brother was murdered in front of him. He was also stabbed. Did I cut out to?
You said that he had a traumatic experience, upbringing.
Um, he had a traumatic upbringing, and then he was stabbed, and his brother was murdered,
Oh my
and
God.
so he had this like it was like horrific. But I see him in the town center, like um, and I try and inspire
Oh no,
him. I
you're breaking
try
up
and
again.
like I beg him basically to try and make a change, and he looks back at me and he says, "How about now? Am I
Yeah,
okay?
yeah,
Am I good now?
yeah.
Okay." So yeah, he held his brother while he was dying, and he tells me when I see him, he says the only time he's not thinking about that memory is when he's high.
Oh my gosh.
So this is heartbreaking because this is like my childhood friend, someone who I consider a brother myself, and it almost seems like I can understand why he is the way he is.
Yeah, that's so sad. That is heartbreaking.
It's really sad, and then I've got other friends that are just completely just their lives have been taken over by alcohol and drugs, and it's you can say the like because they know about my past that like it's they're aware, and I can say to people that I've been through it and stuff, but you can't be with these people 24/7 to help them, you know.
Yeah, even if you even if you want to, people's traumas run so deep. Like it's unbelievable the impact it has on people's day to day. Like it's absolutely crazy. And it shouldn't be
Yeah,
the case. People shouldn't have these traumas, obviously, in an ideal world, but that's how shit life can be.
it just hurts my feelings that there's people like that that are out there on the streets, and the majority of them have gone through massive traumas, and there's not enough sympathy to their position.
No, just judgment, a lot of judgment as well.
Yeah, it's crap, man.
It's
It's
crap.
crap. But yeah, do you reckon you're gonna get back into singing or not?
Um, probably like I do some music here and there, so I will do some just I just love creating. So I'll just do it for fun. Do you know what I mean? Like, but not as what I used to be. Like before I had an album, like me and my sister had an album we produced, and then um yeah, we were around we went that's why we went to America to do music. Like we were doing really well. And then all of a sudden I just
So
got ill.
sorry to completely go off topic, but you see your episode that you had.
Yeah.
What are the mental health services like now? Do they check up on you? Like,
Oh, you're,
can you?
yeah. No, I'm part of a CMHT. I'm under a community mental health team.
Oh, okay.
And I did have a care coordinator, and I'd see her every 3 weeks. It started off being every week, and then it went to 3 weeks, and then now I've been discharged because I'm like doing okay. So they've been quite supportive in that sense. Um,
Did you ring Samaritans like
yeah,
at
I
any
did.
time?
I did.
Yeah.
And chatted so much rubbish.
I do you know I've done it a couple times, and after like my outburst, it goes quiet obviously because I ran out of things to say, and then I'm like, so after listening to my moan, and I feel like I like should listen to yours. Like, is there anything going on that you want to tell me about? But yeah, it's a weird one.
It's weird, but the Samaritans are great though. That's why I always promote it. I always say to people because they do listen. They are there.
Yeah,
They are trained to listen, and you do feel like actually I'm not on my own. Someone just heard my outburst and took it on. Not took it on, but
yeah.
just listened to it. So They are. I think they're positive. It's a positive outlet.
Yeah, man. But yeah, no, I'm hopeful that I can come to like a amicable resolution with the council because it's gonna be if it doesn't get resolved, well, it's gonna be resolved. But I just hope it isn't a me against them thing forever. Forever. Do you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I'm under their like jurisdiction and their services and stuff, so they could like I don't know, they could mess with me or something. It's really weird, basically going to war with people that are in control of you.
Yeah, it's not a nice place to be. It doesn't sound like it's a nice place to be, but given how you communicate really well, and you've got a lot going for you in that sense. Because, like you said before, with your accident, it could have been a lot worse, but you're still able to communicate well, and so
Yeah, man. And
hopefully,
what's it? I had a look the last time I went to the dentist, I had a look at my teeth and they look pretty good, man.
really.
Yeah, but like dentures are horrible because like in the fitting in process, you'll get like ulcers, which are like really painful and shit.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, man. It's actually mad how long it takes to make a set of dentures. Like it's really weird. But
How long
like
does it take?
so the first set I had weren't made to like scale. They were just there to put something in my mouth so I didn't feel the way I am now. But
Yeah.
because my mouth, I had a plate holding my jaw together, so I have like the roof of my mouth is like all like, like injured basically. But so the dentures eventually stopped fitting, and
Okay.
so I had to stop wearing them. And now they're making, I think, a plastic set to then go on to make a permanent like metal set, and then I've got to apply for funding for dental implants. But
Oh,
it's all
whoa.
yeah, it's all a bit of a mad process. And considering I had a bit of a fear of the dentist before this accident, it's been a bit of a mad
Oh my
experience.
gosh. Yeah, it must be because you said that you live in you fear a lot of things, so it must be even harder.
I think the worst pain I had along this like little pothole journey was when they took the plate out of my jaw, and I went into that hospital appointment thinking I want to keep the plate, like I just want to keep it as a souvenir. But I got in there and they said to me, "There's no like easy way to do this. It's going to be very painful. We can't give you any pain relief, but we have to snip the wires and then pull it through your gum." So I'm like, all right. So they did it, and it was one of the most painful things, mate.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, man.
Whoa. So they
I,
don't this is what they don't teach you at school. They don't teach you this, that life you go through these painful, horrific experiences. They don't teach you it, but they should do.
yeah, like the likelihood is you're gonna come under like a really stressful like situation, and you're gonna have to be strong. Do you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
what gives me a lot of hope is people that may criticize me. I'd like to see them in my position. Or I'd like to see them
Yeah.
go through the things that and see how they would act because I'm just happy that I'm not as bad as what I could be. Don't get me wrong, like I'm sat here now and I'm okay, but it only talking to you has really helped. But
Ah, that's positive. That's really good. Talking to you's helped me as well.
yeah,
Genuinely.
man. Like I do mean it as well. Like for anyone that watches this that has any problem going on in their life, if you want to get at me on Instagram, it's B1LZ I think.
Yeah.
Um, like I'll be there for you. I'll listen to whatever problem you got, and I'll like yeah, like fuck these people, man. Because like all of our problems are related to the same thing. We're not looked after by the people that we're meant to be.
Yeah. It's true. It's true.
There should be a lot more going on, but instead it's just money grabbing and bullshit, isn't it?
Yeah.
But,
All
yeah,
right.
man.
Well, it's been
Yeah,
lovely
it's been
talking
nice
to
to meet you,
you.
mate. Nice to meet you, mate. What's it? We could catch up when I have some further development in my court stuff, innit?
Yeah, definitely, definitely. And we're connected anyway on
Yeah,
Insta and So
Yeah, man. Just give me a message if you need to, mate.
yeah, all right. Well, thank you. Take care.
Respect,
Bless
mate. Yeah,
you.
man.
Take care.
Yeah,
Bye-bye.
man. Bless, man. Bless, bless.
Bye.